He's the MVP. It's Lamar Jackson. Right now, everybody has a sour taste in their mouth about Lamar because they just lost to the Chiefs and he didn't have his best passing performance against them. But do you think that this is the year that Lamar Jackson wins his first playoff game? He's currently 0-2, lost to the Chargers and lost to the Titans.
So, to answer your question, based off the record, 0-2 in the playoffs, based on the type of ways he lost those games, couldn't throw the ball, I'm going to lean on and I really don't know. Lamar Jackson, like you said, I mean, he hasn't shown me that can be a consistent thrower of the football. Last year against Tennessee, they took him out. They took away his outside runs, him being able to make those spectacular plays, all gone. Forced him to beat him from the pocket. Probably the worst game he's had in the season. Even going back to his rookie year against LA in the playoffs. Bad first playoff game. Couldn't throw the ball as well. So, I mean, when the run is taken away, he hasn't shown me that he can throw. I mean, there was the last game against the Chiefs. To his defense, there were 5 key drop passes, one by Mark Andrews in the end zone that could have helped him. But even then, he only had 97 yards, and they took away the run, and he just wasn't able to convert with his arm. So, if I'm an NFL team and I'm playing Lamar Jackson, I'm game planning him. Why am I gonna switch my game plan? I'm gonna take away the run. And I'm going to force that guy to beat me with his arm. Stats say he's 0-2 when he's forced to throw in the pocket. So it's a resounding no because I just don't think he can do it with his arm. But then again, the Ravens team is so good all around that he should win. So I'm just going to lean with it. I don't know because he hasn't shown me that he can win with his arm when the run is taken away.
That pass that Andrews dropped in the end zone would have certainly helped Lamar Jackson.
Definitely.
And it would have helped me. I had Lamar Jackson in fantasy. I was banking on him to have a great performance so I could win my game in the league. So I was pretty disappointed in that. I thought Lamar was at least going to crack 20 points in PPR leagues, but he didn't. But to the question, is Lamar Jackson going to get his first playoff win? He better.
Yeah.
He better. Lamar Jackson better. The only team that's better than the Ravens top to bottom roster-wise is probably the Chiefs, and maybe not even the Chiefs. We just know that they're better because of their game plan.
Yeah.
But top to bottom, the best defense in the NFL, I think they're number 1 ranked. I could be wrong. They're definitely top 5 for sure. The offensive line is okay. They lost Marshall Yanda. The interior of their offensive line has gotten worse, but their tackles are still pretty damn good. And people seem to forget that this Ravens team is built to run the ball.
Yeah.
It's built off the strength that Lamar Jackson has to use his legs. So when people talk about that they don't have receivers, they don't have this and that, they aren't wrong. But that's because this team was built to this team was built to surround Lamar Jackson and help him, support him with his biggest strength.
Yeah.
And even besides that, you have Devin Duvernay who runs like a 4.4, Marquise Brown who runs like a 4.3.
Receivers.
Yep. Yeah, like everybody's fast, so you can't really have 2 safeties over the top. You have to have 2 safeties over the top at all times, and you can't really stack the box against the Ravens.
Yep.
But to talk about just Lamar himself, you mentioned that stat about 0-2 when he's forced to throw in the pocket.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that stat, but I was doing research before the podcast, and he's won more times than he's lost when he's thrown 30 or more times. But from the games that I've seen, when he's went up against the Chiefs, when he's went up against the Titans, or he didn't go up against the Titans, but when they've been trailing, it's hard for them to come back. And I'm not sure if that's on Lamar Jackson or that's just how this team is built. Because when you're a run-first team, you're banking on having the lead and chewing up clock so you can win the game. But when you're down 2 touchdowns and you can't really run the ball,
takes away their game plan.
Yeah, there's nothing really to go to. But the Ravens should at least win a playoff game or 2.
They definitely should.
If they lose to the Chiefs, I'm totally fine with it. If they lose to the Chiefs, I don't really care. But you can't lose to Tennessee again.
Yeah.
You can't lose to even a team that they're good right now, but even a team like Pittsburgh, I feel like you should beat them. You can't lose to these teams that aren't favorites.
To these bottom tier playoff teams, right?
Yeah.
To say the least. I actually took a look at Lamar Jackson's playoff stats for his first 2 games. I know it's not a huge sample size, but 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, 51.1 completion percentage, 559 yards, and the most glaring stat, 0-2. He hasn't won. So I definitely agree with you. He definitely should win the game. He has a very talented roster, good coaching staff. I still believe they're going to win that division. I believe they're going to secure a higher seed. Higher seed means you get to play one of the lower seeds. You get to rest. If the same thing happens again this year that happened last year against Tennessee, then there's going to be major, major concerns and problems moving forward with Lamar Jackson. So,
for sure,
like you said, they definitely need to win. They should at least win a playoff game.